Hey guys, how's everyone doing? Welcome to another episode of Car Rides with Cody. I hope you guys are having a good week. I hope you guys are excited for the 4th of July coming up and that everyone's got some cool plans. This week we are going to go over a little bit or a couple of verses in Luke 6. But before we get into that, can I get any prayer requests? If you've got any prayer requests, anything on your hearts, anything you want us to be praying for, let me know. Let Courtney know. Give us a text or a phone call. Comment on this video. We would love to be praying for you guys. We're always thinking about you guys. We're always praying about you guys, and we want to know how you guys are doing. So this episode is going to have a fair bit of frequent stops. I should have gotten a bumper sticker because I have a decent amount of verses to go over, and I don't want to be driving while I'm reading them. So let me pull in right here and I'll read that first verse. Like I said, we are in Luke chapter 6, and I'm going to start at verse 43. So we're going to do verse 43 to 45. It says, "For no good tree bears bad fruit, nor again does a bad tree bear good fruit. For each tree is known by its own fruit. For figs are not gathered from thorn bushes, nor are grapes picked from bramble bushes. The good person out of the good treasure of his heart produces good, and the evil person out of the evil treasure produces evil. For out of the abundance of the heart his mouth speaks." So, essentially what this is telling us is if you're a good person, you're gonna do good things. I mean, for the most part. If you're a bad person, you're gonna do bad things. And what you say and do are your actions, and your actions will tell people if you're a good or bad person. Because you can't really just say I'm a good person and expect everyone to take your word on it. You've got to live that up. If you're and similarly, if you want to live a Christian life, if you want to live a Christ-like life, it is not enough to just tell people I'm a Christian, I live a Christ-like life. You actually have to live that. Your actions will tell people if you are a Christian and if you're living a Christ-like life. Now, I'm going to stop again. I want to jump backwards to a couple verses before that. I want to go 39 to 44 now. Put it in park. And 39 says, "He also told them a parable. Can a blind man lead a blind man? Will they not both fall into a pit? A disciple is not above his teacher, but everyone, when he is fully trained, will be like his teacher. Why do you see the speck that is in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log that is in your own? How can you say to your brother, 'Brother, let me take out the speck that is in your eye,' when you yourself do not see the log that is in your own eye? You hypocrite! First, take the log out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to take out the speck that is in your brother's eye." All right. So, a blind man can't lead a blind man. Similarly, you can't teach people about the gospel and about Jesus if you don't know about the gospel and if you don't know about Jesus. A teacher can't surpass his teacher. We all have to learn from someone. We can't just gather knowledge out of thin air. So we need to learn the gospel. We need to know the gospel. How can we expect to lead other people to the gospel if we don't know what Christ teaches us and we don't know what the gospel says? I feel like that one's fairly self-explanatory. We really just can't teach people a gospel that we don't know. It'd be like trying to teach calculus if you yourself don't know any calculus. All right, let me park real quick. I'll pull over right here, and I'm gonna give you guys the last set of verses I want to read. It is Luke 46 to 49, and it says, "Why do you call me Lord, Lord, and not do what I tell you? Everyone who comes to me and hears my words and does them, I will show you what he is like. He is like a man building a house, who dug deep and laid the foundation on the rock. And when a flood arose, the stream broke against that house and could not shake it, because it had been well built. But the other one who hears and does not do them is like a man who built a house on the ground with a foundation. When the stream broke against it, immediately it fell, and the ruin of that house was great. So, the equivalent of today's modern world would be to be given all the materials needed and the instructions, all the blueprints to build a great house that is, up to California earthquake codes and just sound. It's on good foundation. It's not going to fall over. You're not going to have any problems. And to just ignore that completely and just throw all the materials together and hope for the best. It's not going to work out. It's just really not going to work out. If we know the gospel, we need to live the gospel. Essentially, the plans for that house, the blueprints, all the materials we need is the Bible. God has given us everything we need to live this life. We've been given an instruction manual with all of the rules, tips, and tricks to get through this life and win, to get through this life and do well. And like the fool who built his house on the sand, it would be foolish for us to just not pay attention to that instruction manual. We have the gospel, we have the key to salvation. Why would we not unlock that door? Essentially, in a nutshell, these verses are saying, one, you can't help other people know the gospel if you don't know the gospel. Two, you have to live the gospel if you know the gospel. Because three, it's foolish to know the gospel and to know everything you need to do and to just ignore it and not live it. So, great verses, Luke chapter 6. If you guys have any thoughts on that, I'd love to hear them. I'd love it if you guys read that yourself and shot me over some comments or questions or anything like that. But until next week, enjoy your 4th of July and have a good week, guys, and stay safe.